Good afternoon, everyone. We have a special treat here for you all at the KitchenAid Fairway Club Demo Kitchen today. I could not be more excited to introduce to you all to Chance Cozby with 3 pieces of pecan. Some of you may recognize Chance's last name, and that's because his brother, Kerry Cozby, is the director of golf here at Southern Hills. And he is also playing in the championship this week. But a little more on our star in the kitchen today, Chance. Chance grew up in the kitchen of his parents' home in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. At a very young age, he learned to cook with his mother, Carol, who is here today in the audience. In the kitchen with his mother, and with his father, Jerry, on the back patio. Carol is amazing in the kitchen and spoiled her family with incredible food, as she still does today. Chance was by her side for as long as he can remember, learning the nuances of how to prepare a great meal. Outside, Chance loved to smoke ribs with Jerry on his custom-built offset smoker. Jerry passed away in 2020 and gifted the smoker to Chance. He often told him there is no need for a temperature gauge when smoking meats. Just keep 3 pieces of Oklahoma pecan on the fire and your temperature will be just right. On New Year's Eve 2020, Chance's youngest son told him they should start cooking on TikTok for fun, and off they went. Chance cooks and his son films and edits the videos. In just 4 months, they have grown to about 270,000 followers on TikTok, and their cooking videos collectively have had over 30 million views. He loves to cook for his wife, Erica, and his 2 sons, Campbell and Ketcher, and of course, all of their friends. In his professional life, Chance is ingrained in the golf business. After finishing a 20-year career at Ping Golf as Vice President of Sports Development, he is now the Executive Director of the Thunderbirds, the host of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Please welcome Chance.
There you go. Well, this is different for me. I'm a bit of a golfer. Thank you for the introduction, and thanks to KitchenAid for having me here. So I'm going to make some food. Hopefully there'll be some questions and answers, and we'll be having a nice little casual deal. I'm going to make some shredded chicken tacos with a little homemade salsa with a cilantro, jalapeno, avocado cream sauce. Most of my family, the cream sauce alone, we just eat it. We make a batch every single week, and we eat it on chips. We eat it on all kinds of stuff. And we're actually going to shred the chicken in this KitchenAid stand-up mixer, which is a little unorthodox. So I'm going to get started. Like I said, I've never cooked in front of a bunch of people, and there's no editing. So my man Ketcher, my son, he's going to come out here. So we started cooking on TikTok. I'm a Sooner, by the way, and Boomer, and we were beating Florida in the Orange Bowl, and we're just hanging out, and Ketcher was like, we ought to start cooking on TikTok. And I'm like, what's TikTok? I got no idea. And so he downloaded the app for me, and we looked at a few videos, and I love to cook. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So real quick, I'll go back to this chicken. 2-breasted chicken, you can kind of butterfly them. I usually use a mallet and kind of pound them out so they're nice and flat because you don't want them to take too long to cook. I just put a little bit of salt and pepper on them with some extra virgin olive oil, and I'll probably let them cook for like 4 minutes aside, and I'm going to turn the heat up to high and try and get a little bit of a char on it. And so while that's cooking, so back to the TikTok, we didn't really know what we were doing. And we made some really bad videos early, and then I think I roasted some broccoli. Didn't we roast some broccoli? That's pretty boring to roast broccoli, and but we did that, and all of a sudden I think I had a bunch of housewives watching me make broccoli, and my TikTok started to grow. But I think that the more we learned about it, I made a salsa, and it's the salsa that I'm going to make here. And what I've learned about social media, and I don't know a lot yet, but when you make mistakes or say something that maybe is not perfect, it gets more views. So the salsa that I'm going to make, and I'll just talk about it while the chicken's cooking, is going to be like a very traditional salsa that's been made in Mexico for generations. And I didn't know that. I had just seen it on TikTok over and over again. The cool thing about TikTok or social media in general, you just get a lot of ideas. And so I kept seeing people make this salsa. So I just called it TikTok salsa and did a little taste test. And I think that I really upset basically the whole country of Mexico. They were pretty much coming at me and saying that is not TikTok salsa. My great-grandmother made that salsa every other day. So I spent like 3 hours on the couch responding to like 3,000 comments, just saying sorry to everybody. But everybody that was mad at me, they tended to follow me. So anyway, I'm going to say that's about 4 minutes. I'm guessing it's got a little bit of a brown. I got it on high. So after that browns a bit, I'm going to put it over in this pot with a little vegetable oil. See if I can keep things on track here. So going back to what I'm going to cook. So I'm going to do shredded beef tacos. I'm going to do this traditional Mexican salsa that we love. The one thing that we are missing is some arbol dried chili peppers. So we're going to do just some chili powder, which will, in essence, give it the same flavor, and then the cream sauce. Catcher kind of does all the filming, does all the editing, and I just enjoy to cook. I will say at times it's been a little bit of a burden on the family because sometimes if I get home late and then we're eating dinner at 9 o'clock when we're trying to post. But it's been fun. So, all right, the chicken is starting to get there. And then the only thing I'm waiting on, I'm going to move everything over. Chicken bouillon, I don't know if everybody uses that. Chicken bouillon is like a powder. I've learned a little bit about that as well. It's not very good for you. It's got a ton of sodium in it. And so I'm going to use kind of the remnants of the chicken here instead of using that chicken bouillon. I don't think it's really perfect, as the chef would say. And I'm no chef, right? So we'll get that going. Anybody have any questions while we're kind of waiting for this chicken to brown? Anybody got any questions or comments? Canyon, you got a question? What's my favorite spice? What's my favorite spice? That's a pretty good one. I'm going to say salt. It's pretty boring because I think everything needs salt, and I don't really think you can overdo it much. So salt's a good one. All right, I'm going to do this front burner. I'm going to throw this on high and give this a couple more minutes. So the process on the chicken is I'll usually go like 3-4 minutes aside and try and brown the chicken, kind of get a nice flavor built. After the chicken's browned, I'll move it over into a pot with either vegetable oil or vegetable broth or chicken broth. And then I'll put a lid on it, which I'm going to do here. I've got this on high. I might turn it down a bit. And that'll cook for like 5 minutes total. Try to get the chicken to like 160 degrees. Usually you don't really cook. I don't cook food to time. Usually just cook food to temperature. And so get that to about 165 degrees, and then we're going to move it over to this stand mixer and give it a mix. And then while we're doing the rest here, let's see how this is doing. Not browning too much. I think my pans at home might be a little bit hotter, but we're going to move it over. And since that's already hot, I'm going to move this over. All right, and I'm going to put a lid on this and try and get it pretty good. So that might take, 5 or 6 minutes. The salsa, I'm going to get this going hot. We're going to start with the tomatoes. And we're going to throw some serrano peppers in there, and I'm going to wait on the onions. You really don't, I like to wait on the onions because I don't want them to get too sweet. And I want to get all those tomatoes kind of flipped over to try and get a char going on that. And on the serranos as well. I will say I kind of like food a little bit hotter, so 2 serranos is it's pretty soft. It's not going to be a hot salsa at all. You can beef it up a little bit with the chili powder. So that's going to cook a little bit, and that's going. So anybody have any questions or thoughts? What do you got? I'm better. Ooh, that's a good question. I have good days and bad days in both. Let's say that. I wish you could, but there's no tasting today. Thank you, though, Mr. Garber. I will say, as you guys can probably tell, I'm not a chef. I grew up, as the bio says, I just like to cook. I'm in the golf business, and I cook for my family. My wife, she doesn't really like to cook much. She likes to eat. And so that's really where this all came from. So some of the things, I look for recipes. I look for inspiration on all the different social media sites. My mom's sitting right here. She taught, my brother Craig, we learned how to cook all kinds of stuff. But pretty basic stuff. I think why people may have decided to follow me on social media is because I'm just some normal dude cooking for 2 kids and a wife. And I'm not real complex. And, that's what we do. And that's how most of the world is. There's a recipe that we have that's called one-pot spaghetti. So if you go on my site, it's at 3 pieces of pecan. It's amazing. Now, it did not come from Italy, and it is really dumbed down one-pot spaghetti. But if you've got kids and you want a 30-minute dinner, I'll put it up against anything. Well, not anything. Anything in 30 minutes. So, all right. So my tomatoes are getting a little bit of a char. It's getting better. I'll flip them over a little bit. You did ask me kind of my better. A lot of people ask me what my favorite meal is. I would say, just the go-to is a nice filet, a nice twice bake, a good Caesar salad, and a nice bottle of wine. That pretty much hits the spot for our entire household. So this has been in a little bit. I think it's got enough cooked to it. So I'm going to sprinkle in some onion and let that cook down. And I'm going to take 4 cloves of garlic. By the way, I've never had anybody prep anything for me. This is pretty cool. Usually we prep and we clean, and it's very different cooking at the house. So let's see how much time we got here. All right, chicken's cooking pretty good. Got a nice flavor. This is another spice. This is the spice I'm going to put on the chicken once I get it in the blender. It's just called Chef Merito. I live in Arizona. I go to mercados. When you go to a mercado, you just pay attention to what people are buying. They're buying this. So that's what I use. So you can get it on Amazon if you can't find it in Tulsa. Yes, sir. That's a great question. So I have, obviously, my dad's smoker but that's a custom offset smoker. Then I have a Traeger when I want to smoke something and do it quick and go play golf. Obviously, I can't smoke anything on that and go play golf. You got to check the wood probably every 40 minutes. And then I use the Traeger. I use a Camp Chef griddle. And I love the griddle. I just got the Camp Chef. I don't know, when did we get that, Catch? Black Friday. There you go. You know why you know what? I just remember that. Catcher likes to go to Dick's Sporting Goods every Black Friday and get some stuff. And I walked in and got a Camp Chef. I grew up, my dad had a Hasty Bake. I got Hasty Bake gloves, and they were his. But on our patio that, back at my mom's house now, there's a Hasty Bake. And that's the only thing that he used. So that's a great product. Is that a Tulsa product? Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought that was a Tulsa product. That was the only grill that my dad would ever use. And so maybe that's because the local ties here, and it's obviously a really nice grill. All right, I'm going to turn this heat off. I think we're good here. Usually when I'm at my house and I'm doing this, I'm Alexa, set a timer for 4 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes. So I think this looks about ready. I'm going to let it sit over here and cool off for probably 5 minutes. And I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to pop a little bit of this seasoning in there. I don't really measure much. You can, but we'll start with that and see how that tastes. And this has got a decent little char on it. Let's see if I missed anything. salsa, I got it all. All right, we're going to give this a shot. This is KitchenAid's handy little, how do you get the top off? There we go. You were almost coming up to save me. And I had some tongs around here. We'll just use these. The cream sauce is easy. That comes at the end. Any other questions while we're kind of moving this over? These are Roma tomatoes. But you can kind of, I've used a variety of stuff, so I think you can move it around. But, Roma seems to be what I use. And I will say if you have it available, like I said at the start, Arbol, I think it's called Arbol dried chili peppers. They're great. It's just a replacement for the chili powder. And so you can, if you do this for about 10 minutes or so, and then you put the peppers in at the end so you don't burn them, you can take the seeds out. You can leave the seeds in, and they're very good. Let's see. Is it okay to fill this all the way to the top? Okay. We'll see how this goes. What attachment? So this is apparently, they just told me about this one. When I'm at home, I use the paddle attachment. This is a new attachment that I just saw a couple hours ago, or an hour ago, that is actually made for like shredding chicken and shredding pork shoulders, etc. So we actually got, it's pretty funny, how this all came together. Is, obviously my brother Kerry's the head pro here and playing in the tournament. And when I do videos, I like to wear things that are kind of relevant to just my world. So I'll wear Southern Hills gear, I'll wear Phoenix Open gear, I'll wear Thunderbird gear, and I'll wear Sooner gear and so on. And I think one of the PGA Tour or PGA of America guys, you said, hey, is this guy one of your members? And we'd like to see if he'd come cook for us. And Kerry said, he just said, dude, that's my brother. And so that was pretty fun. And so here we are. So I got everything in the blender. I'm going to take some onion powder, and we're going to give that a shake. I don't know about that. How are we doing on time? We all right on time? And I'm going to do a little chili powder. A little more. And let's see, I need a little fork. Is there a, I'll just use this. That's good. So we're going to squeeze some lime juice, maybe the juice of, was there a citrus squeezer up here, I thought? Okay, perfect. So I'll do the juice of 2 limes, and then we're going to jam some cilantro in here too. We're going to test this thing. Let's see how this goes. Wish me luck. All right, this is where I might need some help. There you go. Thank you, Chef. I will say, maybe the most exciting thing about this for me is I've never been able to make a very good bolognese, and I like bolognese, and I just get to watch him make bolognese earlier. So that's a huge win. All right, this is perfect. By the way, this is cordless, if you guys can't tell. So that's pretty cool. And we're going to put a little bit more lime juice in there. And I don't know if you guys I kind of like warm salsa instead of cold. There's probably a place for both. But if you go to a Papa Do's throughout Texas, a lot of times they serve their salsa warm, which is great. And by the way, if you're doing chips and salsa, or you're doing all this stuff, never serve anything cold like tortillas, chips. Throw it in the oven, give it a little extra touch. It'd be like eating a cheeseburger with the bun that's not toasted. That just doesn't work. All right. So I think we're good on the salsa, and let's see how this chicken shreds. I think we should be good. Move this stuff out of the way. Wash my hands. I probably wash my hands at my house 25 times while I'm cooking. I'm just kind of moving around here. So lock it in, and we're going to put it on a 1 setting, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. You guys see that? So I do get a lot of questions of, like, why would you shred chicken in a stand-up mixer? I think that we just like the texture of shredded chicken. You can certainly make tacos so many other ways. You can chop it up. You can shred it with 2 forks. But in my mind, like, you got a mixer there. We got a mixer for our wedding, 21 years ago. So I don't really like the color of it yet, so I'm going to add a little more of this Chef Merito seasoning. But you don't need a ton. And we are in good shape on the chicken. I might speed it up a little bit just to get a little, and we're good. That's perfect. So that's ready. And then the last thing we're going to do, let me think about this, is make this cream salsa. And then I got to heat up these tortillas. And why don't we just go ahead and heat them up in the pan that we just used? It's kind of dirty. We'll do this one. All right, this is super easy, and this is really good. So this is a jalapeno cream sauce. I'll bring this over just so you know the amount. So it's going to start with 2 cups of sour cream. And this actually stays pretty good. Like, we'll just put it in a bottle, in a squeeze bottle in our fridge, and we'll eat it for 3 or 4 days. It's not that big a deal. 2 cups of pickled jalapenos, not fresh, and you can go ahead and put the juice in there. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then we're going to do, kind of a little handful of cilantro. And let's see, we're going to do 2 fresh jalapenos. And then I'm going to grab a knife here. Would you mind cutting this? Yeah, that would be, you don't want me with a knife right now. I think that would be great. Thank you, sir. And then we are going to throw in the lime juice. So we'll do the juice of 2 limes as well. And the great thing about this is you just throw it in the blender. It doesn't matter what order you put it in. That's perfect. Does that come through just like that? Yeah. No, you got to go this way, right? Yeah. Okay. You can tell I'm not a chef, right? I use a fork or something. What's that? Don't grab that. Yes. All right. We're good. And then we are going to take this avocado out. Let's see, it's a little firm. Any other questions while you guys drag through this? Anybody got any thoughts? Hey, what's up, Carrie? How are you? You hit it good today. You did. It was great. All right, Chef, I might ask for your help again. They're a little firm. If you could just get that one out and throw it in the blender, that would be awesome. And then we're going to mix this up, and we're going to heat up a couple tacos. While we're doing that, we grab a little of this olive oil, and then we're going to wrap it up. You asked me about what I cook on, and the Camp Chef is just a skillet, and it's great for doing breakfast, but it's great for doing like tacos and these items. And once we do this, we'll be wrapped up after we do this cream sauce. Any other questions, thoughts? Mom, you got any questions? Love it. That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. All right, let's see. We'll get this going and fire this up. Don't think I left anything out. Perfect. So this is super easy, and all we're going to do now is plate up a few tacos and call it a deal. Grab 2 more spoons here. What do you think, Catch? How are we doing? Great? Catcher said great. He's always my biggest fan, although he tells me to start over quite often. If he doesn't like my energy, then he's pretty much on me. So I will say this is cool for me to do. Like I said, I'm just a golf guy. I'm just a normal old dude. So to come and cook in front of a few friends and family is pretty fun. And I think there's a storm moving in, so it's nice of you guys to all be here. And we're going to wrap this up. So I'm going to pull these tortillas over. And I'm going to put a little dab of shredded chicken kind of right down the middle. And then we're going to top with a little salsa. I wish I could give everybody a little bit. How far away is the storm? Carrie? Close? Got it. Maybe the wind will blow in the afternoon wave. Make sure you turn off your fire. And then, all right, then I'm going to take my cream sauce, roll it right over the top. I think the cool thing when you're doing this at your house and you're kind of organized and you can, I put all my sauces in these squeeze bottles. And so when you make it, you just dump it right into your squeeze bottle, and it looks a lot prettier maybe than it does here. So, Catcher, why don't we move over here? You guys can see this a little bit better. And I'm going to give this a little dab. See how we did? See if this tastes like Arizona. It's official. It's damn good. Okay, well, I would just say thank you. Thank you, Chef, for inviting me here and being on a call, and Taryn for having me out. This has been really cool. And if you want to go see me cook some more stuff, I've got about 60 videos on my site on TikTok. And good luck to my brother tomorrow. You're gonna play great, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.